Good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar that is Cyber Audits in the Age of AI, what audit and security professionals need to know. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. Before we begin, let's quickly understand who's with us. How many of you are currently working in IT audit, cybersecurity, risk management, or compliance roles? You can simply raise your hands. Great. How many of you are pursuing or already hold certifications such as CISA, CISM, 36, ISO 27, lead auditor, or similar credentials? Okay, perfect. So that kind of gives us a good sense of our audience today. Over the last few years, artificial intelligence has rapidly transformed how organizations operate, make decisions, and manage risks. At the same time, cybersecurity audits are becoming increasingly complex due to cloud adoption, hybrid environments, zero trust architectures, and evolving threat landscapes. As these two worlds converge, audit and security professionals need to understand that not only the opportunities AI creates, but also the new risks and governance challenges it introduces. That's exactly why we are here today. Today's session will help you understand how cybersecurity audits are evolving, the growing role of AI in cybersecurity and assurance, the benefits and challenges of AI-driven auditing, what this means for CISA and CISM professionals, and how organizations and professionals can prepare for the future. By the end of this webinar, our goal is simple. You should have a clearer understanding of how AI is influencing cybersecurity audits and what skills will be critical in the years ahead. For those joining us for the first time, let me give you a quick introduction of who we are. People, we are Knowlathon. We work with professionals and organizations across cybersecurity, governance, risk management, compliance, auditing, project management, and emerging technologies. Our mission is simple to help professionals make informed decisions about learning, certifications, and capability development based on real industry needs. And now, to guide us through today's discussion, we have Mandar Sahasrabuddhe sir with us. Mandar sir is an information system governance and information security professional with more than 22 years of experience across auditing, governance, risk management, compliance, and cybersecurity. He has worked with organizations including Barclays, KPMG, Unilever, Persistent Systems, and KPIT Technologies. He has delivered training and consulting engagements across multiple countries and has been a speaker at leading industry forums, including ISACA. Mandar sir also holds globally recognized credentials, including CISA, CISM, CRSC, CGEIT, ISO 27001, lead auditor, and ITIL expert. Upon saying this, I would like to hand over the stage to Mandar sir.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for kind words. So, friends, good evening, good afternoon, good morning from wherever you are joining. And from Indian subcontinent, happy monsoons. However, as rightly the subject today, what we are going to discuss is AI cyber security. Actually, if we look at not only cyber security, but auditing part in the cyber security, AI part in the cyber security, in and around the cyber security, as well as AI part in audit as well. So there are multifold and multi-dimensional subject today is, and definitely in 45 minutes or so, we may touch base on some footprints into that. So what all either challenges or benefits we would have and where we are moving. And that movement is very rapid. So this is what my little experience in the field that can be echoed. So why this matters? I hope you all are able to see my screen and my voice is clear to all of you, right? Yeah,
Yes, sir, perfectly
great.
audible, and your camera is also visible.
Great, thank you. So why this matter, this topic? Uh, so first and foremost, cybersecurity audits are critical. Trust, compliance, and resilience. So resilience part is very much getting into a buzzword now. That's why uh, audits are also taking something different parameters from frequency perspective, from speed perspective, as well as depth perspective. Normally, traditional audits are periodic and those are reactive because audit is a post facto. Auditor will come, they will ask you that, okay, show me last 6 months record, something like that. They pick some samples and they just verify whether things are happening operationally effective as you have documented. Normally it happens. So not only documentation, but are there any government rules, regulators, etc., etc. But now that speed velocity that needs to be increased. Then what is the approach? Yes, if we look at the genesis of this auditing technology and so on, process of the audit, uh, it has been changed. And say drastic changes are getting introduced just after COVID. So virtual audits have started. Because for a particular data center, except physical security, you cannot audit anything by going in that data center. All the server racks and what they are producing and all, everything can be audited or need to be audited being at your command center itself. So in a way, it is a virtual. So auditing also getting improved now because of this one more important component, AI. So that parameter is changing drastically and upside down. So AI is enabling maybe a continuous assurance. So normally in high transaction businesses like banks and all, already that concept is there, continuous auditing. But it may require now wherever the IoT, wherever the high volumes of a data, wherever the privacy aspects are there, because uh, those could be the unacceptable risks which one has to deal with. Then understanding proactive detection and smarter risk management. Now, being a oldie, I may hesitate saying that, okay, this may not be audit, but this is the audit in new, say, scenes. However, organizations which normally face more complex. So just imagine that I have my privacy data, private data, my means my clients and all on cloud, and I'm using LLM and I'm sharing my container, and I need to abide with all the regulations, my company demands, my profitability, my reputation, and everything, and governance. So all that governance points, normally I quote from the COBIT, EDM, that is the evaluation, direct and monitor. Now, evaluation and monitoring plays a vital role in the governance. Based on that, further directions will be either identified, in intervention is required, and so on. Earlier laid back approach may not justify today's velocity. So board need to take a quick decision, effective decision based on the real time data. And here AI definitely would help, and it will be introducing a paradigm shift in overall uh, say auditing as well as cyber security or any other compliances for that matter. That is a matter for us. Okay, now moving ahead, uh, I mean, we have been discussing evolution of overall cybersecurity audits. Earlier, it used to be information security audit. Before that, computer audit. Okay, then information system audits, then cybersecurity audits. Now, cybersecurity audits are crossing its all the barriers, now from transmitting the data perspective, complex attack vectors due to advancement in technologies, its speed, its availability of a knowledge, and so on. So those traditional audits, manual checklist even are already gone. Yeah, checklists are used, but just as a guidance, not as an audit completely. And point in time reviews. So that is one part. Then what are the limitations? Slow, or rather, I would say, bit behind the pace. Resource heavy, resource mainly from the human resources perspective, then often outdated by the time reports are issued. So I can remember one funny, and not funny, it was a serious incident that we were um, doing the audit on some organization, and on the same day when we landed there, a ransomware attack was there. Okay. And the CIO and CISO were so frustrated, saying that, okay, what is use of your audit? Every year you come and do audit, etc., etc., and we are not able to prevent that. Okay. That time we were not having any answer, and obviously, because auditor's job is not to prevent the attack. Auditor is a watchdog. Okay, and it's not a bloodhound. So from that perspective we were thinking, but then industry demand, which actually drives the services. Audit is also services. How my services, or my means overall auditors fraternity services, could be more in tune with the industry demand, that overcoming from the limitations and those challenges nowadays that we all are having, like cloud adoption, hybrid IT, on premises, on cloud, and handshake from data migration perspective, data transmission perspective, various regulations, maybe sometimes contradicting regulations. Then dynamic threat landscape. This is evolved due to advancement in the technologies. So it is one of the important aspect. And then automation. So early step towards AI, automated log analysis, compliance checks, etc., started already. Okay, may not be actual AI solutions, but auditors, their organizations had already started uh, long back. So how we can automate, and for that purpose, say we have all the Microsoft Sentinel, and there are many Splunk, and all those are log analysis, etc. Tools are there every day. Now the addition of AI aspect is there, various compliance check, and so. So, by the way, I mean, this slide doesn't actually identify the footprint in detail, but just to get an idea that from where our journey has started and where we are landing. Now, what could be the role of AI in a cybersecurity? One is a detection of a threat. Now, one can call it as a uh, this is more from operational perspective, by the way. Just we are discussing AI role in cybersecurity. So threat detection, AI would identify anomalies in real time, spotting insider threats or unusual access patterns. We will look into a example around it. Then monitoring continuous, which may not be in the control of a human in that speed and in that coverage. So AI systems will track all those controls 24 by 7, reducing, say, reliance on just periodic review. Okay, so that is again just in time when something happens. And predictive analytics, so forecasts and recommendations as well. So AI forecasts risk, when things can go wrong, when risks can be materialized. So that we have to predict. So timely prevention is always better than cure. And the risk scoring. Now, here generative AI identifying prioritization of vulnerabilities based on impact, likelihood, having your organizational policies guidance and coming up accordingly, your dashboards, reviews, and so on. So almost all my cyber security area, right from detection till the reporting, AI will play a role. For that purpose, just one in this slide, yes. I'm just taking one example, by the way, which is already there. We all know security copilot. Now, by the way, when we say AI also has different layers. So overall artificial intelligence system, then what specifically machine learning would play a role, what deep learning would play a role, and it will give me a complete solution, by the way. And generative AI, what it will be having a role. So just think, consider the scenario that in my typical company, which is dominated by Microsoft, everything is Microsoft. And I have taken Security Copilot. I have integrated Sentinel. I have integrated Defender. I have integrated 365, etc., etc. And I'm say employing it. Now, from AI system, what we can consider more from analysis, analyzing, identifying the threats. Example is given here, right? So automatically suggesting next steps when some phishing attack is detected. And I will say, ah, Mandar, phishing attack, it is common nowadays. Yes, but it is definitely one attack for the example I have taken. There could be many different attacks as well. I understand. But then what more intelligence will come over here is identifying pattern, anomaly, abnormal behavior, identifying signatures, pattern recognition, pattern mapping, and coming out with certain detection, detecting anomalies in the network traffic that could indicate some malware. Now, deep learning, when I go into the layers of my network data, right from my presentation layer till last data layer, some hidden points like APTs could be there. Now, my deep learning, unless and until all those, say, maybe lacunas come together and form one statement saying that this is a threat, but already few pointers are present in different layers. Now, just looking at that, one cannot make that, okay, this can be dangerous. But deep learning can identify that. They can recognize patterns further. They can have a certain their own based on the training, by the way, and they can correlate those signals and come out with, say, uh, multiple layers, and they will decide. So here I always get, by the way, I'm fond of movies as well. So I like that movie earlier, KGF 1. So in that, for some reason, you cannot take a weapon inside some meeting. So what they did, so the handle of the suitcase, maybe a lighter, maybe some pipe, and so on. So at different layer, different people were carrying that, and once all they come together, it becomes a pistol. Okay, so this is what the intelligent game may be expected and identified, that where and how that deep learning can work based on the AI, and it's a really a great task. And then generative AI, which we all know, write the report, create a dashboard, and come out with very nice summary. So all that part, now here AI is playing vital role in this all the gamut of a cyber security. And we have to audit as well that both. Now here one more challenge. I mean, we will come to the impact of AI. Before that, um, when I started my career, there used to be the term that audit through computer and audit around the computer. So concept is same, only things are changed. Audit through AI and audit around AI as well. So I would like to consider, say, one term that normally auditors for the financial statements or financial processes, what they do first IT audit or IT general control audit. Once IT audit says that, okay, systems are okay, now you can go and check the financial uh, processes or financial reporting. Why? Because you can trust those financial reportings that either those are not tampered or those are available and those are correct and complete. Okay, why? Because financial reporting is based on the IT systems across ERP and so on. Similarly, that phase will come tomorrow that first you do the AI systems, AI processes. When you say, yes, this AI is responsible, then you can trust on the outcomes given by that AI. So let it be audit, let it be operations, let it be cybersecurity, let it be your financials. So from AI will be having impact on in the process, during the process, and around the process as well, in my opinion, and by the way. So what could be the impact? So benefits: faster detection of a control failures. Yes. Improved visibility into risks across the complex IT environments, which are most likely complex IT environments, your footprints, your availability of data, your uh, end user, say, devices, and so on. Uh, Reduce manual effort, freeing auditors for a strategic task. So planning the audit, which are my really risky area, applying the auditing principles, evidences, my independence, and so on, where auditor will have a more strategic upper hand, and definitely human in loop will be there, or the human oversight will be there. Now, having said that, what could be the challenges? Explainability. What all are the AI decisions? Those must be transparent for the audit credibility. That's why human in loop or the oversight is required. Explainability is nothing but confirming why this outcome has come out of my AI, whatever the system. Now, uh, why you say this control is weak? Why you are saying this control is not weak? Now, there would be enough, say, approval points, and that is from the traceability, that what kind of a data we are using, what kind of use cases we are using, what kind of a data which is trained to the AI models. Are there guardrails enough to identify that poison data is not getting into systems and so on? Whether data is concurrent, whether data is not stale data, it is about data, then algorithms, is there any drift or not? And so that traceability or provenance that we consider, all that will add into the explainability why outcome is like this. So that is one challenge always we have to come up with. And data quality, I just mentioned, poor input leads to flawed outcome, and it is a universal truth that garbage in, definitely garbage out. And governance risk, so over reliance on the tools without proper oversight, human input. Okay, so accountability is not with machines. Accountability with who takes the decision and who actually approves it. So in the audits, okay. Now implications for CISA, CISM professionals. I know this particular slide is just I have taken earlier. Why? Because I come from that fraternity as well. And ISACA, by the way, they come up with the CISA and CISM exams. So they keep updating their job practices. So now auditors has to take care of whatever the technology changes, shifts, drifts, etc. So auditors must interpret AI-driven insights, not just manual evidence. So what my deep analysis is giving me. Apparently, I'm saying, everything is going good. Okay, no problem, green flag. But really getting more in detail to the data, universe will be completely different. We don't know. So we need to pay attention to that. Auditors also understand how that model works, what actually the outcomes they are giving, why those outcomes are coming up, what kind of parameterization is done for the AI systems and so on, which might be used for the audit, which might be used for the operations as well. Then interpretation of the data, making sense of the AI output, and risk management, AI-driven environments. ISACA certifications are also evolving in that we may discuss further. By the way, title of this slide, even if it is a implications for the CISA CISM, ideally speaking, and uh, this slide is having a one message. It is not only for auditors as well as operations, CISM, not operations management as well. So from all the angles, we have to consider implications of AI from diverse fraternity of professionals here. Now, I have taken one example here. Sorry. The data interpretation example, like AI output example is given, detected 15 failed login attempts from XYZ some IP. So followed by successful login to the finance server, risk score is high. Now means what? Contextualization, validation, investigation, and deciding. Now, here is the IP internal or external? Is this a normal user behavior or not? Now, this may happen during the last few days of a salaries. This behavior is automatically should up, which may not be a normal behavior, sure. Now we have to identify the context of the organizational, its behavioral patterns and all. Validation, compare with the historical login patterns. Now one can say, here as well we can use a AI tool. Obviously, no one can deny. However, further investigate. Failed attempts suggest brute force attack. Normal. Okay. I mean, it's not normal. And successful login may indicate compromise. Now we cannot rest saying, no, this is successful, so everything is okay. No, this might be, they might have say broke the things, and decide, escalate to incident response, enforce MFA, monitor further activity, or just leave it. Now, action taken, incident response team will get notified. MFA enforced for the financial server access, maybe more type if the system is legacy, coming out with the WAF and so on. Continuous monitoring activated for the suspicious IT ranges, comparing historical data and so on. So all the things, deep learning, your generative AI as well as your AI systems, machine learning, all are in use for this. Now, moving ahead, I mean, I think I have taken one more example, like critical vulnerability detected in the web application. Now, this is done by AI tool, like a Sentinel. Okay, so they have detected one critical. And what we are discussing about the human interpretation is nothing but the human in loop. Uh, Understand and downgrade. So why did AI reduce the risk from critical to medium? Because this scores, say score what they have given. CVSS score is 9.8, which is really high either ways, right? But risk score is medium due to compensating controls. So AI might be provided with the existing control mechanisms, their effectiveness of those controls. Maybe control self-assessments and so on. Based on that, AI might have downgraded the risk. So really it was downgraded, or your uh, say models are compromised, or whether your data is poisoned, or whether your prompts are not engineered. Anything can be possible. But when I come out with the human interpretation, I will first question why this reduce risk from critical to medium. Then verify compensating control. Really, it is saying compensating control. Then what the web application firewall WAF just had discussed about segmentation or any monitoring truly mitigate the risk, etc. Contextual impact. So whether vulnerable system, internet facing or internal, orders that handle the sensitive data, decide remediation strategy, then patch immediately, where to patch. So patch also would get tested, etc. if exposure is high and so on. One will say, Mandar, just a second. In operations, I'm detecting, and even if human has to do all those things, then what is the use of AI? Valid question. Valid question. But then who will prove the accountability? Definitely, uh, there are certain set rules as well. Humans also will have this monitoring part. So rather than human capital is getting invested in identifying critical vulnerability based on the tools and identifying its risk, then coming out with its final risk scores and so on. So in my AI model, being an auditor, I have to identify whether my responsible AI is tuned with all these things, whether why it is downgrading that logic or that model is trained for that, whether there is a sufficient data for training or not, etc., etc. Based on that, auditor will rely. Now here, as I said, when I rely on IT systems, then I can take output as a financial reporting good for the audit. Similarly, once I understand that, okay, AI outcome is good and reliable, it is a transparent, it is a explainable, then I can take forward. Now there could be thousands of such records, right, already coming across the system, diverse heterogeneous systems and so on. So my that area is getting covered, which is really voluminous, and even velocity as well great over there. But then I have to look at the strategic such kind of orientation, and whether say, okay, what are my next actions and so on. And evaluating those actions also could be part of my say auditing fraternity. And there are various tools. Just for the example, it is not exhaustive. There could be many thousands tools also there, but just a few. I mean, I would like to more interested in key features. So just I mentioned about the security copilot. Now it is an enterprise security audit. Okay, uses Microsoft security data plus automated reasoning to draft findings and next steps, which is best for security teams. Now, this is for the operations management as well as audit workflows. So you can configure audit workflows. You can create your hooks in the system itself. Then Wiz is specifically for the cloud audit. So AI assisted cloud discovery, risk context, actionable finding across the cloud, and take actual. I think one more here I have not mentioned, somehow I missed, but you all might be knowing security.ai. So they also come up for the cloud brilliantly, mainly privacy and all other anomalies. So identify a particular uh, PII or the personal data, and they are having a crawlers, intelligent crawlers. They will move across my cloud footprints, and they will gather those relevant data, and it is a really helping to the decision maker as well as the auditors and so on. Now for the SOC 2 27001 HIPAA compliances, etc., etc. So there is one data. It is an audit automation, by the way. It is not mainly for the operations of companies, but automate control evidence collection, creating a hood, produces audit artifacts. Now the evidences, writing the non-conformities or coming out with the findings and recommendations and everything. So it will be, and workflows as well. So compliance automation is a Vanta. So AI assisted evidence collection. Again, one is for overall audit and maybe other is for the specifically compliance. Then compliance management, the other one is secure frame. So tracks control status, collects the evidences, generates audit ready outputs, etc., etc. So all those aspects that we will consider. I may not go into the every list over here. But then, what being a auditor, we have to face, and we need to be ready for that. Integrate AI, embed AI info audit life cycle for continuous assurance in your systems. Okay. So earlier, what I have seen mainly BFSI and where highly voluminous data and maybe due to requirement from regulatory bodies, continuous auditing. And for that purpose, during earlier days, there used to be cat tools, etc., etc. Now all those are been replaced maybe by AI-enabled tools. Then governance, establishing oversight frameworks for the AI tools. So oversight from all the 360-degree, how AI is performing, how AI is reliable, as well as what outputs that AI is giving are whether those are usable or not. Then methodology updates, adapt audit processes to AI-driven environments. We cannot go with the old approach. I can give you one example. And even these AI audits are also getting so fastly changing. So we were actually auditing one company and they were going for 42001, by the way. And we were asking, okay, where is your training data? Where is your training data? And they said, we don't have training data, boss. We use RAGs, right? So then we have to get updated our skills to the RAGs, exactly what it does, from where it will get the training data, etc., etc. Accordingly, we have to approach our methodology update for a particular audit. So detailed understanding. And one challenge I can see here in AI audits and so on, technology is so fast. And for that purpose, even if I connect that, converge that with the risk management, somewhere I have seen, I won't take the name of the organizations, but they're seriously thinking whether to consider uh, velocity as part of a risk parameter. Normally, risk parameter we have two: likelihood and impact, velocity. If things are going wrong, how fast they are going wrong, and how fast risk will get materialized. Now, impact could be huge in this sophisticated, integrated area, diverse technology footprints, and so on. So things are getting really different. And here, definitely AI can respond to that velocity part. Okay. Then upskilling, training professionals in AI literacy, data analytics, and governance, and so on. Future ready audit functions like blend human judgment with the AI efficiency. So clear. Because being a human, you cannot answer to the coverage that huge data which is getting into. Even if I say that, okay, audit is based on the samples, but population itself is so high, so my sample size has to grow. Okay. So from that perspective, I would just have taken some glimpses how CISA or ISACA certifications are responding. So in CISA job practice, if you see, one competency has been getting added. So AI governance, model validation, algorithmic accountability. Now, what impact auditors must assess AI systems for transparency, bias, and the compliance. Now, it is a completely different subject together, altogether, but these are the glimpses. In C risk, AIML risk management, LLM data risk. So from security, effectiveness, efficiency, how one can analyze AIML, and risk professional must integrate AI risk into enterprise framework Now, it is a high visibility risk. So if you look at, and there is a fear of having a shadow AI, by the way, that also is very important point we have to consider. So let it be cyber security, your security area, your all those network, services management, and so on. I mean, I'm not even talking about HR and all, but technical core IT functions would take help of a AI solutions without having a governance framework in place. So that risk is getting more, I mean, on the scratch. Okay. Uh, so say risk has that one important part, and all that we have to bring to the enterprise framework. Otherwise, those risks will explode sometime. And AAIA, so that is a new certification by ISACA, I guess. So specialized AI audit skill. So auditors gain advanced capability to audit AI-driven environments. Some technical aspects are also there. Entire AI system lifecycle, data preparation lifecycle, etc. How to audit them, all that will be considered. So these are certain key takeaways. I know, friends, in this limited time, no one can give a justice to such a vast subject, but just to ignite the thinking process. So, what is the audit normally? What we considered now that audit, how the genesis of audit is coming to the age of the technology and AI. And see, till now we are talking about the AI. Tomorrow, when it is fueled with the quantum computing, then it will go to completely new orbit. So, and it will be progressing. Okay, so impact of a technologies on audit approach uh, through around those technological advancements, how the examples that we discuss about. So overall takeaway that AI is transforming audits from periodic checks to a continuous assurance and across the fields, across the fields. And after that, benefits: speed, visibility, efficiencies, uh, velocity for that matter, because velocity is a your speed with a definite direction. And that, I mean, in ITIL it has a specific meaning. VUCA systems are getting developed in VUCA. Those are volatile, those are complex, those are ambiguous, and those are complex systems. Okay, so and volatile as well. So to respond to that, my system needs to be resilient. My Because some or other time systems are going to crack. It is inevitable. But how quick, how fast my capabilities to resume my business, so that there is no even a second millisecond of a impact realization on the users. Okay, so that is nothing but the resilience, like Pushpa says, jhukega nahi. So these are the challenges, and challenges mainly from the AI perspective is the explainability. How outcome is outcome, why outcome is outcome, bias. So it is not say excluding something while giving certain prediction also. And governance, and CISA and CISM professionals must evolve. And by the way, not only this, all professionals are expected to be evolved. Now, in ITL as well, there is a AI ops. Now, in case if company is running LLM, then there are ML ops. So that operations management, governance, all these three layers, everybody has to update to themselves and take on the future. So this is what that we had to cover. I'm not sure whether I'm in time or not. So friends, thank you. So so Kunal, are we going to take any questions or so? I'm not sure.
Yes, sir, we are definitely gonna take questions. Firstly, I would like to thank you, sir, for taking out your precious time and helping us get enriched about the cybersecurity in the age of AI and how useful the cybersecurity is. So thank you so much for that also. Now we will be moving on to the Q&A. So if anyone has any question, please feel free to drop your questions in the Q&A section. And if anyone wants to talk or ask any or say anything, then please raise your hand. We will unmute you accordingly.
Hi, this is Nikhil this side.
Hi, Nikhil.
My query to you is primarily focused on the future or career prospect regarding the security certification, especially CISM.
Huh.
Because I intend to do the same. I have been working in banking industry for the past 16 years.
Okay.
Uh, uh, I am an MBA and with engineering background, I have done some coding as well after my engineering.
Hmm.
Um, and in banking also for the past 16 years, more than 9 years I have spent in IT.
Hmm.
IT in the sense that IT project management primarily. Uh, so I want to move to CISM and security area. So
Correct.
how I would say the relevant or how smooth the transition will be if I want to move from a banking perspective from a banking domain to security area, maybe in banking only, but in the IT domain or security domain.
Right. So, what I understand from your background that you are in banking and technology aspect of the banking from the IT perspective as well, and you want to move to the security. Now, security is a domain which is not directly say against the banking. Banking domain within that security, and that could be the smooth, I would say, job shift. Okay. Uh, Remaining in a banking domain itself, because you have the business understanding for that, you have might have gone through, I mean, such a great experience, 16 years. So rather than just getting into the core, you can consider, by the way, why CISM is also good, because CISM is not that much technical like CSSP. It is more towards the management and governance of a information security part, not only information security, but allied governance, risk management from the technology controls, security controls, business continuity controls, and so on. So I think that transition would be definitely smooth, but at least initially don't move from the banking as a domain. Now, you might be moving from typical IT management to security management. So this would be the only shift, which is a good next step, I would say, because that area is improving like anything, because technologies are getting introduced very rapidly, and security based on my cyber security aspect or so on, uh, every time security will be required always, and you are actually getting that experience day in day out. So transition would be definitely smooth, but stick to the CISM. Now I don't know exact detailed background, but if you are not so technical in network, etc., etc., CISM would be the right choice for you. If your experience would have been into networking or managing the servers, etc., etc., I might have suggested you CISSP, but at this time, CISM is right choice for
Okay.
you.
Yeah, my
Okay.
experience is not in networking side per se. I am
Hmm.
I was primarily involved in project management, development,
Management, right,
production
right, right.
support, and all
Perfect,
those.
perfect.
A general banker, which has been assigned duties for IT development.
Right. So definitely good transition through CISM, what I presume.
Okay. Okay.
Great. Thank you.
Does anyone else has any query or wants to ask something? Please feel free to either drop your question in the Q&A or please kindly raise your hand and we'll unmute you accordingly.
I think, Kunal, there is a question for you in the Q&A. Something about participate certificate, something. I'm not sure.
Participate certificate, no. So if you are asking about the certificate for joining the webinar, then no, we do not provide any. Okay, we do provide the certificate for joining the webinar. Please kindly reach out to us individually or kindly drop your contact details so our team will reach out to you with the same. I do hope I answered your query. Okay. Uh, Ma'am, you can uh, like talk or you can ask your query. You are unmuted.
Ria, are you there? You can ask your question, please.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, I just wanted to know the opportunities of this in near future. I am a Pharm D student pursuing pharmacy.
Oh, okay. Great. But you want to shift into this AI or cyber security? I mean,
Yes, depending on the opportunities.
hmm. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, all in information security, having a bit business understanding is really help. But then, if you don't have any technical understanding in this cyber security or your background in the IT or so, initially you may approach some basic level courses maybe like you can start with the CompTIA, where the cyber security concepts get clear and so on. Then step by step, you can get into the roles. And normally, what I consider being your the background academia, you can try in the pharma companies because in pharma, privacy, information security are at very top level because definitely IPs, because of definitely the drug test, etc., which are really confidential manner. So it is a stringent security, information security part. So it will be a good combination, but you have to really give your 100%, considering to start with some initial understanding. So I would say, yeah, uh, it's a good thing that if you want to change, no doubt. but you have to give some time to you go through. I think Knowlathon will help you that what all are the courses or say subject lines towards the transitioning. Uh, so cybersecurity could be the good approach, I think. You can do that, by the way.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Thanks. So no further questions, friends?
Well, there are, but they are for us only.
Okay.
I'll just quickly answer those. Firstly, with regards to the PPT, so actually we won't be sharing the PPT. However, we will be sharing the recording, which you can access through YouTube, and which we'll be sharing in the in the WhatsApp group of cybersecurity. And with regards to the certificate, we will be sharing it with the sharing it on your email. So we request you to kindly share your email ID. So that the team will be able to send you the necessary certificate for participating in this webinar. Is there any other question or query with regards to today's webinar, or any question in general? Please feel free to either raise your hand or drop your question in the Q&A, and we'll definitely answer those. Sir, there is a question for you from Mohit Kumar. He's saying that he is a pharma student. So how will this work for pharma as a future, and whom he can connect for the same?
The future of AI and cybersecurity, as while answering Via, so definitely the future is there. Uh, However, we have to start with a basic. I mean, I'm presuming that you don't have that background at this moment, but now whom to contact from courses perspective, definitely to the Knowlathon, and they can just give you from foundation level till the professional level, what all courses are available, etc., etc. Um, and definitely the convergence between the pharma and cybersecurity or AI. So that I would say some pharma domain expert definitely would help to mention it to you. Unfortunately, I don't have much exposure to the pharma, so my comments are a bit premature on that relevancy part. But definitely there will be the future for cybersecurity and AI in pharma. Okay, I hope I have answered the question. So thank you all for patient listening. I must say I'm grateful for your everybody's time. Over to you, Kunal.
Oh, I was saying thank you so much, sir, firstly, for taking out such precious time from your busy schedule to help us understand cybersecurity in the age of AI and how useful it is. And I just want to thank to everyone who took out took out some time from their busy schedules to attend this webinar. It meant a lot to us. And yeah, please do subscribe to Knowlathon on YouTube channel. Please do follow all our social media handles, because we will be uploading this recording on our social media handles. And yes, you will be updated with future such webinars as well. Thank you so much.